all got to do with health and wellness, which has become a critical component in the healthy work-life balance. Now, let's speak to Uneza Suleiman about this now, and she's got some insights that she's going to be sharing with us on this particular topic. Uneza, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Now, you're very big on health and wellness and beauty, in fact, and I just want you to give us a brief sense of your journey so that our viewers can get a context of what it means to you to be able to advocate for a healthy work-life balance.
Good evening to everyone and to the viewers of ENCA, and thank you so much for having me here tonight or this evening. Often I am asked this question that how do you project yourself? How are you able to manage the work-life balance between, the beauty industry and the health and fitness industry? And often I say that I am a brand ambassador for my business. People look up to me. People want to know, what am I doing? How am I living with intent? How is it that Uneza can run a successful business but still make time for meaningful dietary as well as going to the gym? So I often say that as the brand ambassador of my business, I have got big shoes to fill.
And it's very important because in a world that is so high stress, Uneza, we have work, many people have children, many people have multiple streams of income because of the higher cost of living. That management of productivity and energy levels becomes almost impossible. So on a broad level, how do we create that balance and make sure that we are not burning out? I mean, I'm sure you've seen a number of cases of people burning out, unable to manage themselves when it comes to productivity, but also having that energy to remain productive.
I always say that if I don't go to the gym, I'm going to go to jail, and jail does not have Wi-Fi. So I have to go for my own well-being. And in order for me to live a life that is stress-free, going to the gym, I'm able to redirect my energies, my focus, and all my, I'm so much more resilient in my business and my decision-making because of the energy output that comes out of eating well, going to the gym. These are the choices that I have. It took time to get to this point where I am able to run a well-balanced life so that I can coexist within every facet of my business, whether it's in the beauty space, or in the health space, or my other businesses, with my children, family life. To strike that balance is so difficult. And going to the gym has honestly become my time for myself. And, it's not selfish. It is that time for myself is the only time that I can give to Uneza to become the best version of who I am. And it is so encouraging and so amazing that when I'm at the gym, the amount of creative ideas that are born from those times that I'm there in my creative space, because I'm so often, we work in such a high-strung lives, and we're in autopilot, constantly running one to the next, putting out fires constantly. That's the meantime that has helped me to become, honestly, the better version of Uneza.
Yeah. Tell us something a little bit more about resilience. It's a word you used in your response just now, Uneza, and resilience is a tough one to have. You're going to get many doors that are shut in your face and a lot of barriers to entry, especially as a woman, that you would have to go through. So that has an impact on your mental well-being because you might then want to give up. The role that resilience has played in your particular life, especially when you found those tools to be able to manage your personal being, well-being, mental well-being, and growing your business at the same time?
So in order to develop resilience, you need to go through failure. Failure has been the one thing that has led me to become the person that I am. And through failure, you rise and you start to learn your own truth and your own self, and where your strength is and your weaknesses are. And for me, that I stand here, that's 20 years in the beauty industry, I can't say I started off as a resilient being. I had to go through many challenges, trial and error, failure. I paid a lot of school fees in my industry, learning many things along the way to become the resilient person that I am. And there was a quote, or there's once an article that I once read by Richard Branson, and he said that in order for him to make wise and calculated and meaningful decisions in his business, he tests his ability and his capability in the gym. So if you can put yourself out there and, test yourself at a pace, your physical strength, you're able to test your emotional test, your intelligence as well. So for me, that was apt, because I realized if I can do something with my physical strength, I'm able to do the same thing and implement this subliminally in my business. It seems so vague, like how can the gym really affect your decision making in business? But it's true, because if you are able to push yourself to that extra rapid, to that extra, or eating or staying away from bad foods, you're able to do the same thing and implement those decision making in the business as well.
Yeah, and I mean, what role does that healthy overall lifestyle then play in creativity as an entrepreneur? One of the big things that entrepreneurs fail to do is to be innovative and to keep up with the changing world and the changing needs and demands of their consumers. But in order to be able to meet those demands and change with the consumers' needs, you need to be creative. Tell us about that well-being and what it contributes to the creativity and the innovation in entrepreneurship.
We live in such an amazing era where there's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to living your life, on the right path, from healthy eating. Often people say, "Oh, it's just about the gym," and I say, "No, it's not. It is 20% going to the gym and 80% of what you are eating." But when I talk about the creative space, I'm a beauty therapist. I'm not a personal trainer, so I don't give out health and training information. But I've learned and accumulated all of this knowledge over time. And I do eyebrows for a living, and it is a very creative treatment. You must be able to design something. And someone like me that's an A-type personality is very structured by design and limitations, and I had to implement this creative side and grow my creative side. And the only way I could do this was through the gym and my creative ideas, and just staying with the trends and pushing myself to do better, become better, and also with my staff to be able to guide them on how they can, push themselves, how far they can grow themselves. The creative space is not an easy space to be in, because we're living in such a competitive market. Everybody is doing eyebrows, for example. But how does Uneza package eyebrows so differently, and why she's so successful is that I had to create a brand that is so different from anything out there that people come to us just because, for example, we're mapping out eyebrows, which no one ever did. So in the creative space, I feel like, you're challenging yourself in both strengths and your weaknesses, and see how you can implement so many different things. Creativity for me is tough. I'm a businesswoman. I don't know how to even draw a stickman, for that matter. But I had to learn these things and, unlearn bad habits at the same time, and say to myself, you know what, I know to do this. If I can do that, I'm able to do this, and I can grow my personal branding as well, and my business and myself. And self-development for me is a big thing in my woman empowerment space, in the space that I play in the beauty industry, that our industry changes so fast. It's part of the $1 trillion industry. What was trending last year is definitely not trending this year. And you need to keep up with those trends so fast. Otherwise, you're just an outdated beauty salon.
Absolutely, indeed. That is the founder of Unique Brows, Uneza Suleiman, joining us this evening. Thank you very much for your time. Speaking there about health and wellness and how that can contribute to your overall success as an entrepreneur.